Hello and welcome NFL fans to the third edition of the K&D Picks Football. This is the Super Bowl special. As my friend Kimberly and I break down the latest NFL games from the championship games from last week, and as we get here to the Super Bowl, the big game of the year. Welcome back, Kimberly Moten from Cherokee County, Alabama. It's great to hang out with you again, Kim.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we have fun. We have a lot of fun just chit-chatting, breaking it down. I'm Dave from Houston, Texas. As you know, neither of our teams are left in the Super Bowl, but here we are. We're going to break it down for you. We got a lot to talk about. We definitely want to go through kind of what happened in the last championship games and some of the news on and off the field. So far, I tallied up our picks, and Kim is ahead of me with a 7-5 record, although she was 0-2 last week. So take that into account before you run to those betting windows.
Ooh.
I was just 1-1 last week. Neither of us had the Bengals to win to beat the Chiefs. That was pretty much a pretty big upset. And then I did pick the Rams, so I just picked the favorites and got lucky. So let's start by looking at the AFC and NFC championship games. Pretty exciting games. Both of them came down to the final few plays. What was your biggest takeaway of either game?
Definitely the Bengals, because I was for sure, I was like, I don't think they could beat the Chiefs. And then the Chiefs, I mean, after watching the highlights, it was just very odd and very weird. I don't know if there was like some friction maybe on the line between Bellamy and Reed. Hopefully not, but there was a lot of circulation about Bellamy. It was very weird, and then we had overtime again, and so Bengals getting it right, and well, no, wait. They didn't get it right. The Chiefs got it, but then they intercepted the ball, that bad play that Mahomes had, and they sealed the deal with the kicker. And so I was just very shocked by that, because I really did thought this Chiefs were going back to Super Bowl, because there was no Tom Brady. I was like, they're going to go back and redeem themselves, and they ain't going back to redeem themselves.
No, that was big surprise. It was interesting just how it played out with both teams having really long drives there. The Bengals went down and scored with like 6 minutes left to take the lead. And even Tony Romo was saying, hey, if the Chiefs play this right, they could keep Burrow off the field, go down, score a touchdown to win. And they spent the 6 minutes, deliberately. They kind of wanted to drain that clock, but then they only settled for the field goal. So that was, I think, here I am sitting at home, but that was their mistake, right? They needed to get that touchdown there at the end. They only got the field goal. It goes to overtime. The Chiefs win something like their 6th straight coin toss in overtime. But like you said, they couldn't come through. And it's just been kind of one, I won't say lucky break. You make your own breaks, right? If you're the Bengals, you put yourself in position to win.
Right.
You have a really, really good kicker that can make the difference. So the NFC side, you had the Rams and Niners, and the Niners scored just before going into the fourth quarter, had the double-digit lead. It didn't seem safe. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, it seemed safe at the time. But looking back, the Rams answered the bell. They went down the field, 3 times, a touchdown, 2 field goals. Garoppolo didn't come through in the clutch. So any takeaways from that game, or did anything surprise you there?
It didn't surprise me, because I was waiting. I was like, is he gonna come through? Get him this win. And then about time that happened, he threw an interception and it was over. And I was just like, and my heart just broke, because 49ers, they don't have a lot of offensive power besides Deebo Samuel, who was the heartbeat of that offense. And so sucks, because you don't know what the future is going to hold for the 49ers, or if they can even get back to it next year. So, it just sucks for them. Happy for the Rams, but, it sucks for the 49ers to lose that heartbreaker and everything like that.
Yeah, it'll be great. Matthew Stafford has shined here in the postseason now that he's got some talent around him on both sides of the ball. So yeah, you touched on it a little bit. What next for 49ers? Garoppolo is probably on his way out. Where do you think he might land? And do you think the Niners can get back with the quarterback's name escaped me at the moment, but the rookie quarterback?
Trey Lance.
Yeah. Lance.
I don't know if they can get back next year, which I've heard, which I don't know how it's going to go because the NFC is NFC West. Yeah, I think so. Like, you don't know who's going to get back a lot. You don't know what's going to happen with the Cardinals or Rams if Odell will be staying with them. Like, it's so much. But I don't know if the 49ers could get back to the NFC Championship next year. I don't know where Jimmy will go. I think he will be a backup somewhere. Green Bay may want him. If Rodgers leave, he could be a good backup there. I just don't know. It's so hard to think about where you think he will go or what team will want him. I mean, he's a good quarterback, but it's just like who will take him? The Saints, maybe, because that's a whole big ordeal going on there. They're gonna need a quarterback. I don't know. I think he will stay in the NFC though.
Yeah, I could see that. It could be. I could see a number of landing places. It's going to depend, like you said, whether Rodgers moves around. If he actually moves somewhere, would a team like Tampa look to get him? So we'll move to the next subject. It's official. Tom Brady is retired. Going to move on. I'll start. I think my take is that they won the Super Bowl, and I feel like there's that desire to defend the title. And if you don't, he came up short. Just wasn't in the cards. They had some chances at the end, and then not really wanting to come back and charge back up the hill. And if they win another one, he's got to stay another year and defend it. I think he felt like he proved everything by going to the Bucs and showing he could do without Belichick. But we talked about it on our last show a little bit, with Brady. But what's your takeaways from the Brady retirement? How surprised were you? And what do you think is next, either for him or the Bucs or any of that?
I wasn't surprised. I'm telling y'all, when they had that game where they played the Rams, and he had that busted lip, and they had that the camera on him like up close, and I said, Tom Brady just doesn't look right. Like he just looked tired, and it just like it wasn't to me. I was like, he looks tired. I said, he's about to be 45 years old. I said his body cannot take no more hit. And so during that game, I said he's done after this game. I said he's gonna retire because I said he looks tired. And because my mom, she went back and forth with me. She's like, no, he's gonna come back and defend his title. I was like, no, he's done. And so when it first came out and there was like, no, he hadn't said, but then when he officially said that he's retiring, I was not surprised at all because he had that look in his face.
Yeah, it's hard to get that fire, and he's the kind of guy that and he kind of said it. If you're not in 100%, and it's a lot of off-season commitment, right? You got to get back in the routine. You got to keep your body in shape. You got to stay on diet. You got to spend time away from your families. All those, it all makes sense looking back in hindsight. It's just such a shocker after 2 decades of dominance. And it just was the kind of the big news of the NFL for that 48, 72 hours from the time it got broken, the story got broken, right or wrong, to the time he confirmed it. It was pretty crazy, but we move on. So Super Bowl we're taping this on Wednesday, so the Super Bowl's here in a few days. The team's already out in LA. They're getting ready. I think it'll be a good game. But one of the things that a lot of people are excited about is the halftime show. So you've got certainly an interesting lineup. They went on the old school hip hop side of things this time instead of we've had pop artists like Prince, and we've had Bruce Springsteen. We've had The Weekend, everything else. So, the lineup is, of course, that you got Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. Probably missed somebody, maybe not, but you got all these people. How are they going to fit them all into a 12, 15-minute concert? And which are you most looking forward to?
I don't know how they're gonna fit in there, and I'm getting Dr. Dre is from LA or California, that they probably be like the closing act just because they're from there, and so it's gonna be crazy though. Like I'm excited because like I don't think they've done hip hop in a while. And everything, and so I'm just like I'm excited. I'm pumped. I hope it's a good halftime show.
Yeah, I think so. They've had, a lot of, I'd say missteps, but either technical issues or controversy or that type of thing. And you might think with hip hop, you might get some of that, but I don't think it's going to be that way. I think you've got some veteran artists that know how to command a stage. I think, and hip hop lends itself to blending, to mixing. So, they'll all be on stage at different times, throwing it to each other, probably sampling each other's big hits. I remember back when I was in college and Dre was really a big name, and he brought Snoop Dogg on, and he was some new kid, that everybody knew liked to smoke a little weed when he wasn't on camera. And then now, Snoop Dogg's a veteran amongst all these guys and girls that knows how to put on a show. He's likable. He's done stuff with Martha Stewart. He's real crossover kind of art. All of them are kind of that crossover status. And then of course you have Eminem, who's probably the biggest wild card of them all. You never know what that guy's going to do, especially on stage. So if any of them are going to do something controversial, it would probably be Eminem. But he's probably my favorite of those. It's hard to say, him or Snoop Dogg. I've got both of their albums, and I'd say grew up with them, but really like their work, and so I'm looking forward to it too. Sometimes you get a big name artist, they're going to hit their 3, 4, 5, 6 songs, their big pop hits. We don't know what's going to come out of this. They're going to, like I said, really put on a good show, and it'll be interesting. So we'll see how it goes.
Exactly.
All right, so that brings us to the big game. So we've got the Cincinnati Bengals, who I think last time in the Super Bowl you may not have been born yet, versus the LA Rams, which have had some recent visits with different quarterbacks, right? They were there with Goff, they were there with Kurt Warner. So a little bit of a new team, some of the same holdovers from the Goff era, but certainly more weapons around. So what's your forecast? Are you going to go against the Bengals again because they're too tired? Are you bet against their kicker? Or are you going to put your chips on their block this time?
Oh God, I struggle because once again I went back and forth, and like Cincinnati's line is what scares me, because like they're not just going up against anybody. They're going up against Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and I'm like, I don't know if they can handle them big boys up there. And so I'm like, that's basically where I stand from. Like, it's like the offensive line versus Rams defensive line. Leonard Floyd, it's just like so many, and so I'm just like, I don't know if Cincinnati can handle that defensive line, because I feel like if they do get to Burrows, then it's gonna get ugly, because like I said, they're really fast and everything. So I struggled with that, and of course, to me the Rams have the better offensive players in general as well too. Beckham, Sonny Michelle, Cooper Kupp. I mean, like, who's going to defend Cooper Kupp? Like, it's just like so many things that like think about. Because everybody's already said that Jalen Ramsey was going to be on Jamar Chase, but then like I said, you got Cooper Kupp, and who's going to defend him? So it's just like so many. And so, but my heart is like the Bengals. They aren't scared. Home field advantage doesn't matter to them. They don't care. They'll go in there and ruin it. But I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think it's gonna be close. I'm gonna sell on the line, so maybe like 27-24. I just trust Stafford and the offensive and their defense. I just trust that team a little bit more, basically, and everything like that. And like I said, if the Bengals O-line wouldn't let Burrs get sacked so many times, then I'd be like, hey, I'll go with them. But I just can't trust them against Von Miller and Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd and all them. I just can't trust them.
Right.
So we'll go with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Bengals, but I can't come up with a logical reason, because what you just explained, and I agree that the line, first of all, I think offensive or line play in general defines success of a team. If you have a team that is successful on dominating the opposite defensive line, they're going to win the game, assuming pretty equal parts on offense. And I think both of these teams have the weapons on offense. If you look at, Burrow and Stafford, if you look at Chase and Cup, probably a few more weapons on the Rams side. But like you said, if it ends up just being a tee off on Burrow fest, I mean, the guy can't win by himself. It's a little disconcerting that Jamar Chase was shut down for a good part of the other game, where they weren't really able to get him the ball deep because of the way the Chiefs played him. So that the Rams are going to look to not only rush the quarterback, but get on Chase. If you shut down those two aspects, you're kind of down to Joe Mixon and a couple other pieces. But I was impressed that some of the other Bengals receivers were able to step up last week. And so, and Burrow, there's just something about Burrow that he just seems like he has this confidence, almost like, so I'll liken it to the time, put all this weight on it, but you go back to that 2000 or 2001 Super Bowl where it was the Rams against the Patriots, and Tom Brady had stepped up for Drew Bledsoe, and everybody said, oh, it's the greatest show on turf, and the Rams are just going to fly all over the place, and this Patriots team isn't going to be able to hang with them. This rookie or young quarterback's just kind of feeling his way through. He was a little shaky the week before, but then then Brady comes through and just proves to be this guy that just gets it done. No matter which team has more talent, he figures out a way to get it done. So I am going to go with the Bengals, only because I think it'll be a crazy game. I think they'll get some weird bounces. They'll figure out a way. Burrow will figure out a way to make it happen. And I'm going to say it's going to be 31-21. Bengals are gonna win their first Super Bowl in franchise history. So there you go.
It's good to disagree.
Yeah. All right. Well, so where do you watch the game? You watching it at home with your family and friends, or?
Yes, family.
Yeah, same here. We sometimes go to Super Bowl parties. We used to host Super Bowl parties, but just kind of decided, it's just easier to hang out at home, make some snacks, and take it easy. So that's the plan here. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed talking through the games, and we'll post this online and we'll see how we do. And it's been great talking to you.
Mm-hmm. It's been fun.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it.
Sounds good. Well, you take care, and everybody out there take care. And let's just hope we have another good game like the rest of them.